Congratulations on receiving your admission offer, but now you are worrying about how you're going to afford that education in US. Many universities in US have increased their tuition fee in last 2 years. For example, Harvard's tuition fee has gone up by 3%. Of course, inflation has made it much expensive to live in US as well. Thanks to these factors, it now costs $78,000 to attend Harvard per year. This is equivalent to 65 lakh Indian rupee. So the biggest question is how to reduce this financial burden and what are some of the things that you can do after securing an admit if you want to receive some funding. That is what we are going to cover in this video. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nistha from Scholar Strategy and 24 North Star. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're liking our video. Today we are discussing what can you do if you have received an admission offer from US but you have not received any funding. First, let's look at the cost of education in US. For example, let's say that you have no funding. This is what the MS is going to cost you. Application, visa and travel costs around $5,000. Tuition fee, let's say around $60,000 and living cost around $20,000. In total, this will come to $85,000 or 70.8 lakh rupees. But now, let's calculate the cost if you get a RA-ship offer in a thesis course like Masters in Computer Science at UIUC, which was my course. RA-ship stipend can amount to around $27,000 and if you get the full tuition waiver along with the RA-ship, that is going to cover your full tuition fee of $60,000. This total price worth is around $87,000, which will cover your entire education and you will end up saving a couple of $1,000s. That's right, if you get full tuition waiver via any sort of assistantship, you can not only do your masters for free but earn on top of that. By the way, this advice is equally applicable for bachelor's courses or undergrad courses as well. Finding an assistantship changes the whole equation. And while everybody will not get it, somebody will get it late and may not cover entire tuition fee, etc. It significantly lowers the cost of education in the US. What I want you guys to do is try your best to find this sort of funding. Now, many people think that if they have not gotten any funding at the time of their admit, then they cannot get funding anymore. This is not true. I found my funding and most of my clients found their funding after receiving their admits. So here are the steps you must take if you have received an admission offer without funding. First thing you must do is find out if there is a chance to find funding. Talk to current students or seniors and ask them specific questions like did they find any funding for their education, how many students are able to secure funding in their classes, what's the pay like, etc. etc. Remember that stipend policies differ from university to university and program to program. While I was a research assistant at UIUC, I got full tuition waiver and also a monthly stipend. But when I was doing my TA-ship at NYU during my MBA days, it did not give me any tuition waiver. It only paid me a small hourly stipend. This can vary from $20 to $32 per hour in today's time. The idea is to get a good sense of whether funding is feasible in this university or not. If you find that historically people don't get funding in this course, then you need to think hard whether you want to go ahead with it or not. Ideally, you should have done this homework before you applied. For example, we know that Columbia rarely gives assistantships. So if you're financially constrained and need funding, you should not have applied to Columbia in the first place. Now let's imagine that you found in your research that funding is possible in this course. Then you must do these next steps. Second thing you should do is ask previous students what worked for them. For example, they can give you leads about how the TA-ships are allocated in the department. They can tell you which professors have a vacancy in their labs. Sometimes there are internal university portals where assistantships are posted. Sometimes direct email to professors work more effectively. Whatever is the situation, the seniors or alumni will be able to give you a better idea about this. Number 3, ask your graduate advisor for advice. When you receive an admit in US university, you are allocated a graduate advisor. This can be a person from the admin department, or it can be a professor who's in charge of the admissions that year. Whoever that is, find out from your letters and let them know that you are looking for funding. Ask them what is a good timeline to follow for assistantship applications in the department and what are various places where you can apply for funding. These can be extremely helpful. Number 4, prepare your resume for TA and RA-ships and apply. Based on the advice you have received from the alumni or seniors or the grad advisor, you should now implement it. Whatever they have advised, go ahead, follow it, take your resume, drop it in the appropriate places and actually apply for these positions. Basically, you have to treat it like a job hunt. You will apply and you will be shortlisted for a informal or formal interview. For example, for my TA-ship in the operations course at MBA at NYU, the position was posted on one of the internal portals. I emailed the professor because I had already taken the course in last semester and he gave me the offer after having a brief conversation. So find out how it works for different departments and this position and actually do it. My advice here, apply to multiple places and you can even apply to different departments. So don't keep yourself restricted to your own department. For example, you might be studying in computer science department, but you can apply for assistantship in mechanical engineering department as well. And last thing is, keep trying every semester. It may happen that despite your best efforts, you did not receive funding in the first semester. But if you stay persistent, network with the right people and keep trying, sometimes you might get funding in the follow-up semester. I have heard of many situations where students were able to find some sort of funding by their second semester. So my advice is, be a good student, be consistent, be persistent and diligent. Do not give up easily. So those are the some steps that you can follow to actually receive funding even after receiving an admit. Remember that you can find funding both before or after arriving on campus. I have myself studied for free in US and I did not get funding at the time of my admission. I got it after moving to US. Many of my clients have also managed to find funding after receiving their admit decision. If you want to do the same, then check our best-selling 2-hour-long funding masterclass in which I have covered the timeline of the funding process, understanding different types of financial aid that works in US schools, tips to find funding before and after getting an admission offer, including how to contact professors, how to approach scholarship essays, and case studies of successful candidates who have managed to find funding. I will leave its link below in the description box. Check it out. I'm proud to say that people have actually followed this advice and received 100% funding. So can you. Don't give up easily. All the best. So that was it from my side. I want you to know that you have to still keep trying to find funding. If you are going for a master's course in US, it's very much possible. If you have questions about this, do post in the comment box below and I will try answering whatever is possible. But yes, I have covered the full advice and detailed step-by-step process in the masterclass, so do check it out. Let me know what other topics you want us to cover in the future videos, and I will see you guys in the next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.